Again, welcome everyone to our October 14th meeting of the Economic Growth Strategy Committee. We'll call the meeting to order. And first, I think we're going to hear from Val about the approval of the agenda. Am I right in saying that?
Nope, you can just ask for approval.
Okay, all right. We need a motion to have,
So
a
moved.
motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, motion carries. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As reminded.
Aye.
You're proud.
All right.
Same thing for the minutes.
And also approval of the minutes from the September 23rd meeting. Also need a motion for the approval of those minutes. Anybody wants to go through them first?
I will.
Megan,
I'll second it.
are you second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? All right, motion carried. Move right along. Next on our list, market gap and investment readiness analysis. And
Yep, so we have ASBB Economics and Research here. So they were awarded the contract for our market cap and investment readiness analysis. So this is our kickoff meeting with them, and they'll go through the committee on how this will work, what the things that they're going to do, where the committee will be involved, where they'll do public consultation, and the data that they'll be collecting. So I will hand it over to themselves for some introductions, and then I'll share the screen as well for the presentation.
Okay. Thanks very much, Val. So before we get started, maybe we could do just a roundtable of who's here, just the name, just what you're in, your day-to-day activity, like if you're an entrepreneur or whatever, whatever else that you're involved in the community. And I think that should give us a good idea of who's in the room.
you want to go ahead
Or
and
me.
start, Megan?
Hi, I'm Megan Cox. I am a local realtor.
Awesome. How long have you been in the community, Megan?
Born and raised here.
Awesome, good. I like to hear that answer always.
Heidi Wagner, Deputy Warden for the municipality. And I'm born and raised here too.
Awesome.
Dale Richardson, municipal councillor. Been a lot of volunteer work throughout the years. For instance, a community garden venture and other groups. Born and brought up in the area.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Jill Webb. I'm Economic Development Officer here at the municipality. I've been with the municipality for 4 months now, and I've lived in Shelburne for 7 years.
Wow.
Hi. My name is Sherry Thorburn Irvine. I'm also an elected councillor. I sit as the alternate on this committee. I was born here. I lived away, so I would be an example of out-migration. So it was my parents that out-migrated, and that has an impact, as we all know. And so I returned in 2012, and this is my second term.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Warren McLeod, CAO.
Val Kane, Director of Economic and Community Development and staff support for the committee.
Andrew Locke, I'm a local resident and business owner in the town. I was born and raised here in the town, but I live in the municipality, so I'm a commercial fisherman and business owner and a bunch of different things.
Nice to see everybody. Nice to meet you. We're excited to be on this project. My name's Neil McKenzie. I'm with the ASBB in Manny, and Manny brings me on when she feels I would be a good fit for projects. And so I'm really happy to be in this project because I too was born and raised here. And although I live in Yarmouth, I was born in Sandy Point, and I grew up in East Jordan, and my mom still lives here, and I'm here all the time. And
Nice.
I grew up pulling ticks off me and woods and camping and everything here. Roseway Beach. It's very, very wonderful memories of this community. I love this community, and I'd love to see it prosper and grow. So you all said you were born here, so I felt I needed to do the same thing.
And if you still lived here in Jordan, I'd be your counselor.
Oh,
Just
really?
saying.
I'd be your neighbor.
Oh, really? So I grew up right in East Jordan, just after the Breakwater Road.
I'm right at the East Jordan sign, just past Camp Jordan.
Okay,
wouldn't be your
we were-
counselor.
We were further down. Anyway, East Georgia.
Yeah.
Great to share.
Penny, if you're online.
Penny?
Yeah.
Warden?
So I'm Penny Smith, again, born and raised here. I was a staff of the municipality of Shelburne for 24 and a half years before I decided to run for council. So this is my third term as councillor and warden for the municipality of Shelburne. Very, very excited about this economic development growth committee, and think that we're going to do some really wonderful things for the community together.
Awesome. Okay, well, I guess, it's just left to me. I'm Maddie. I'm not born and raised here, unfortunately, but I do love Nova Scotia. So I spent most of my life studying actually in economics, and I worked for various few organizations, Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, Deloitte, and a few other private investment companies in the north. And when I left Deloitte, I was working and living in Yarmouth, but working in Deloitte Toronto, and I saw, like, flying back from Toronto back and forth, I realized that there was this opportunity to bring that knowledge here locally, and I wanted to do that because I loved living locally. I decided to live in Yarmouth and leave, I don't know, like London, England, and Toronto, because I think that there's something about community and small communities. It preserves the soul and the human spirit of who we are as human beings. And so I thought, okay, well, can I maybe bring some of my expertise and do something? And there wasn't really anything of the sort, so I decided to start an economic agency from the start, and hence here we are, ASB Economics and Research. Neil's been a really fundamental part of our team, because we've just finished a big project in the Valley to set up a DMMO framework there. So I think his knowledge of working with municipalities, working with council, working with the public has been really important for our projects, because without the public, we can't really pass any of it. So he's been an integral part, and I think that we're going to do probably a few more projects together for sure, Neil.
So,
So yeah, and so this is the team. We have some folks in Halifax, like one analyst there, one in Toronto, and there's myself. And so we'll be here in person as much as we can, because we live very close to here.
likely it'll be us mostly in person
Yeah.
here, and everyone else.
Yeah.
The other folks will be online or
Yeah.
occasionally here.
Yeah, so we'll go through the plan, just a little bit to show you, what we've planned, and this is all open to discussion, right? Nothing set in stone, but we just wanted to come with a plan and see where you think things are gonna be. You're good? Yeah, okay, good. All right, any questions, just feel free to put your hand up and we can address them right away.
Thank you.
So we can, we don't need to spend any more time on about us slide, but here we are. Next slide. Perfect. So, the reason we thought maybe this meeting would be important is to kind of review some of the deliverables, are they still, deliverables, right? Just a discussion around those. We have a set of few questions to go over, so we'll take notes there. And then, what does that look like in terms of success for this project? What would you like to see out of it? We're going to discuss it. So the next thing is kind of a small team, but a bit of a partnership. That's going to be the next slide. Sorry, I unconsciously gave you this duty of slide maneuvering, and I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
you gotta scroll.
On my brain, I need to sorry. There. This one?
Sorry, two before.
Two before.
This one. Oh my God.
Just tell me what page number.
Our page 5. Yeah, there we go. So I want to pull up this slide because, as you can see, me, Neil, a few of our analysts, but the planning is blank there, because when we were doing the scoping of this project, we have a few partners. Dillian Consulting is a partner of ours. East Point and Halifax Engineering Company is a partner of ours. We really felt like the zoning and all of the bylaws really should have an eye of those folks, those experts, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure what the community wants is feasible. That's actually allowed by the zoning and the way the infrastructure is hopefully going to be set up. So that's why that's blank there. And one of the first things that we'll do, Neil, maybe we can go to that blue slide. So the next one.
I'm going the wrong way, right?
Yeah, there we go. So this is kind of like what we thought the overall project is going to look like. First, we've already identified the parcels of land, but then we'll kind of go and identify from the secondary data point of view, commercial, retail, and service gaps in the regional economy, so in and around here, like what's actually missing, and we'll look at the municipality level. And then for the evaluation of the land readiness, that's where like maybe we'll consult with the planners, on our partners there, just to see like what's feasible. And then, part 3 is going to engage, entail stakeholder engagements. Like that's where we're going to bring it in. But this is one of the project objectives from the RFP. Of course, will help aid to, make an investor attraction strategy for whatever feasible opportunities we come up with, and then the roadmap. But in detail, next slide. Yeah, there we go. So this is a whole project in a nutshell. Okay, so here we are with somewhat of the kickoff meeting. Again, the market gap analysis will start with a regional economic, data review and analysis, benchmarking, like what other folks have done in similar areas, like where they've had similar pieces of investment plans. Stakeholder engagement is going to be an important one. We'll talk a little bit about that today, like whom we should consult and how, we should do it, because we understand the public's an important part of that. Commercial, so after all of that, we'll do some commercial opportunity profiling, having come up with what the community wants from those parcels. And then, we'll work through the investment readiness, attraction, marketing, and finally like present at the end. So this is kind of what we think might be the roadmap to go forward, but happy to open up the floor if there's anything that we missed to add in there.
For 1 to 3.
So what kind of timeline are we looking at for phase 1 to 3?
Yeah, well, that's actually a question that we also have. When do you want this project to be like completed by? Right?
Yesterday.
That's always the right answer. Yeah.
What's the rush?
I would say in line with our budget cycle.
Yeah, like March.
Yeah.
So then I think the stakeholder engagements really ideally should be in, I'd say probably like in the new year, mid-January, February. Just because it's going to take some time to get the word out, and those are things that we can work on. We'll get like all of the market gap analysis and things like that done in November. And then, as soon as New Year hits and folks are back, we can do the engagements and hopefully help through the investment readiness and things like that shortly after. Okay, good. Yeah.
Next slide.
Yeah.
We'll keep chatting on this one.
I think that, yeah, we can go to slide number 9 maybe. So I won't go over all of it because then we'll lose our whole time, but I want to ask some questions, but it's available for you. But basically, when we're looking at, these two parcels of land, the way we advise starting is to look at like the zoning, the servicing, etc. Of course, we'll visit the land, but we're familiar with it. But also like scoring the land in terms of environment, accessibility, servicing, and things like that, right? And then we'll validate it with our stakeholder engagements and, this committee here. And then we'll kind of go about doing like the matrix and then the investment strategy based on those. Is there any questions on that? Okay. The next thing that we wanted to talk about is the economic opportunity scanning. So that's in slide 11. Yeah.
I did have a question on the other slide.
Sure, Penny.
I think I saw that you had a timeline of about 18 to 20 weeks from start to finish. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's about 26 weeks altogether. 22, yeah, 22.
22 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so slide.
Which one?
This one, yeah.
12, 11.
No,
Sorry, it's just a touchy.
Yeah. Okay, so so oftentimes when we do an economic opportunity scanning, we often start with market demand identification, So really talking with municipality and potential, the community, I think, really understanding like what's underrepresented in the commercial and industrial sectors. I know Bridgewater, for example, did like a retail market study, right? That, that looked at the gaps and things like that. We won't be doing a retail market study, but we'll be looking at similar indicators to see like where the gaps are, because that'll tell us like what could be feasible here, right? And then we'll do like the asset mapping and readiness, that's a little bit of zoning work, opportunity and profile and scoring, and then in the investment readiness, and 5 is going to be all together with the community, like what you folks want to advertise as, right? And then finally, I want to go over the economic profile stuff. So some slides 23 onwards. Yeah. Next one. Okay. So here's kind of like a snapshot of like some of the data that we've collected. So again, this is all public data. It's from StatsCan in 2021, which was the last census. The population was 4,336. It did go up, like it did increase. Yeah, like 1.1%. I'm not sure, like, do you guys feel it's still increasing or?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I think, from my opinion, is the 2021 data is reflective of pre-COVID.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
good.
going forward,
I
would be
agree.
post-COVID, and
Right.
we've seen anecdotally
Right.
a lot of increase. I mean, Megan herself
Yeah.
is a real estate agent, she
Yeah.
can talk
Yeah.
to the markets, or,
Yeah.
And as
You
a
know,
mom
things
in
are
school,
selling.
just
Yeah.
new families, new kids, I coach too, just new
yeah,
Okay,
people
good.
coming in.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
would
good.
suspect it would be 2 and 3%,
I would
I-
think so.
I
as well.
agree.
at least.
Yeah. I think the next census is 2026, maybe, like, anyway,
Yeah.
it's coming up, so we'll see that.
Is there any way to pull that sort of, is there any way to pull that with like property assessments or,
We just don't want to say
like
how much.
rather than waiting for 2026 for that data, like we all anecdotally feel there's an increase, but there must be some way we can pull the number there somehow.
Val has done
Yes, I
we
do.
engaged a company to do basically a housing demand analysis, so it's got a lot of demographic data in there, so you'll have access to
Yeah,
that.
awesome.
Yeah, so they did some shift share analysis and some cohort analysis on populations or like communities or regional data. So there is some scenarios for highs and lows. I think all of them show us growing except
Awesome.
for the cohort low, I think showed a decline. But I think it's unrealistic to say any communities are declining at this point with immigration. It seems to be everyone is kind of growing and people are moving around.
Okay, that's very good. Yeah, and then we'll need to like maybe look at the age groups that are coming in,
Yeah.
because they'll determine like the growth, right?
Yes.
So-
It's not young enough.
I can send you,
They're not doing it.
it was Turner and Drake who did that for us to
Oh,
prepare us
good,
for some
good.
housing funding.
Yeah,
So,
please, yeah.
so they kind of took the housing needs assessment that that they
Right.
did for the
Yeah,
province
I
and then
remember that.
applied some more localized knowledge to it,
Okay,
and which created some scenarios for
Awesome.
us for population growth, so.
we have some forecasts too, like we work with we have some data partners, so we have like population growth forecasts, so happy to bring that to our next meeting,
Yeah.
We should be able to.
Unfortunately, rural Nova Scotia, the census and some of the surveys that Statistics Canada do, they don't translate down into rural Nova Scotia.
Oh, we
Like,
know, we pay a
But
lot
the
for data, private
the
data for
that
that
other
reason, yeah.
communities have is
Yeah.
amazing, and then you start peeling that back, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't even get regional data for that in rural Nova Scotia.
Yeah. So the next slide we wanted to show you, because we wanted to show you like okay, so this is, again, from our private data, but basically this is by export value, right? So how much we're exporting out of here, the top 10 industries. Okay, so ship and boat building is obviously the highest one, and then of course seafood, because fishing is still big here. And then, there's various levels of provincial government at the end. So do you guys feel that this is kind of an accurate description of what you feel are the primary industries here?
I would think seafood would lead it. Andrew, what's your thought?
There's seafood and fishing there in two quantities, but they're different.
Yeah, so you have to almost add
So
them.
basically, you would look at together would be more.
Well, just the fishing
I would have thought would have led it.
Yeah. Shipbuilding, though, a lot of guys come from other parts of, like, let's say,
Yeah.
Newfoundland, all over to have boats built here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so that doesn't surprise me that industry, and there's, the price of those items are fairly high, so it'd only take, 24 vessels to be 48 million.
And not all of our fishing is exports either. I assume this is international exports or
No,
outside
no,
of.
just
Oh,
out
okay.
of province.
Oh, out of
Yeah,
province,
like if it's
right.
just going out of the province,
Yeah,
it's
34
considered an
million
export.
seems awful
Yeah.
small to me.
Maddie,
That's not a lot, I agree with you.
quick question for you, Maddie.
I agree.
It's probably not a big number, but I think with a lot of the new people that have moved in this area, there's a lot of home-based businesses, like internet-based businesses. I don't know if how we would get data on that to see how much that is or how much it's growing. But
Independent businesses, yeah.
Yeah, or working remotely.
Yeah. We actually have data on working remotely. StatsCan thankfully published that, like they have an indicator to measure that now. We could look at some business count data and get that for you. There's some independent,
Would it be post-COVID data?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
That's, or it's gonna look a lot different.
monetarily, I don't think it'll be big, but it's definitely a growing sector here, I think. I don't know if you call it a sector, but.
There's some marketing data
Yeah.
on it too. Also be on the other side, what the market's actually
Oh,
worth.
right.
So I'm sure I can get my hands on some of that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Is that the whole marine?
So,
Um,
Mr. Chair,
Just one area, LFA 33. Yes, go ahead, Penny.
thanks. I just wanted to agree with what I believe it was Councillor Richardson had said about the fishing being in a third. So I'm just wondering, when you have that title, fishing, what does that entail? What does that mean?
Fishing would be just classified as its own industry. I mean, we can read you the.
I would suspect landed product.
So, just for instance, in the 2024 calendar year, in only LFA 33, which is from Back Road to Pennant Point, Halifax, there's $183 million worth of product landed. That's one fishery.
And
Only
I
one
would
fishery.
probably account for half of that.
Yeah, certainly, just locally, we'd be close to half. So I think that number's certainly not.
But is it all exported outside of Nova Scotia? Because this is just exported out.
99%.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
99
Yeah,
plus.
so-
percent.
I would say, I would agree with you.
So maybe we need to look more closely at that data on that line item.
So you think it should be
Yeah,
allowed?
I'm just wondering what the data actually meant. So, yeah.
So the fishing, like the fishing, like, I mean, how the NAICS is defined, right? Is the industry group that comprises establishments primarily engage in commercial catching or taking of fish, shellfish, other marine animals from their natural habitats. Like that's the definition of
That's
fishing.
low,
Yeah.
really low.
So,
I just find that number to be very low. And to the chair's point about ship and boat building, I mean, it wouldn't take too many vessels now to come up to 48 million for sure. So,
so these are export data, right?
Right.
We're happy to like take a look at it, but this is just what's being exported, not
Right.
not the total GDP data, like not the
Okay.
value of the products formed, but just rather what's being exported, right?
okay. And for hospitals, what would that entail?
So for example, for a hospital, let's say that, let's say that there's, so it would be staffing essentially. So basically, let's say like if we're sending staff or we're working on patients that are not from the province, like that would be exports essentially.
Okay.
Providing diagnostic and medical treatments
Yeah.
to inpatients.
Okay.
The primary, the scope would be hospitals in category are licensed to treat patients of any age and various medical issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not the GDP number, it's the export value number. I think, what might help is that if we go to the next slide, because that might be easier for us to look at, interpret.
Well, the fishing one doesn't even account for groundfish and halibut or any of that
No,
we
it
still
isn't.
have. So,
No.
Can't lay off.
and that's
Fish,
processing
shellfish,
on top of that again.
We'll check on it. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah, we'll check on it. It's just the export values, but we can for sure like get into the primary details again. But this is found online, like it's from StatsCan. But if you look at this one, this is the labor force data. So this is like how much, like what are the primary industries here based on where folks are mostly employed. And so it's different from the fishing data again, sorry, the previous sector, because here you see actually like the industries that, employ the most amount of people might not be the same ones as where you're getting the most exports from.
The fishing employment is hard to capture too.
Yeah. So here the number one is the business, finance, and admin occupations. So basically, the government jobs. Healthcare is of course a lot. Sales and service occupations, these are all the retail sales that would go under there. Trades is huge.
Would that kind of be where they put a fisherman?
I would
No,
Trades,
it would be
maybe.
go under 8 natural resources.
Yeah.
That's where they would put it, yeah.
But
Which is
some
pretty quite
Some
high.
of your
That
crewmen
is
might
great.
come under trades though.
Okay.
Quite
Moving
close.
on.
And then in manufacturing, so that's where you're processing plants and things like that.
Like urban and.
But it gets
Look at the
really
ratios from men to women.
And then, we didn't put it on here, but like basically men are of course where you would expect them to be, trades, resources, manufacturing, et cetera. And, women are more in admin and administrative. I mean, it's just an expectation in terms of like what we see in the data
Yeah.
usually, so it's that, I read it that way.
Oh, I think the warden has a question online. So
Sure.
I'm the only one that can see it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I was just thinking back to the last slide and this one even too, I guess. I'm just wondering if it might be helpful, I guess, if there were examples or something under each heading, just so that people have an understanding of what each one represents.
Sure, so the particular jobs, right, like.
Yes.
Yeah, we can add that in, no problem. Okay.
Penny, I'm just going to jump in here. This presentation, I think, is just
Yeah.
mostly for the benefit of the committee. I think it's
Yeah.
not something that's going to be presented at
No,
our public engagements or anything like that.
no.
Yeah, no, but I'm thinking though, for anyone who listens to this recording or sees this, would it be helpful for them as well?
No, I think that the way, like what we thought about is giving you a snapshot of what's currently there, right? It has nothing to do with the parcels of land or how it's gonna be developed. It's just to say like, if there's particular industries that come in, they're gonna wanna look at what labor force is out here, right? And these are the types of, workforce that you might look to do your investment strategy, that's all.
Okay.
So I mean, we're happy to like get through this and go to the questions, which I think is really the importance of this meeting, really. What do you prefer?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in the same boat. All right, Neil, I think maybe we can, yeah. So why don't we just pull up this, our PowerPoint, our questions slide. Sorry, the questions prepared earlier.
Okay, the last one?
The PDF, yeah. No, sorry, the Word document.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's on my computer here. It's my screen that you're sharing.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, right.
Oh, I don't have a Word document. Is
Oh,
it
that
this
one, yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So then we just wanted to kind of understand, okay, well, what is your understanding of this project, right? So we did our introductions already. Then I think we can just go into discussing, it doesn't have to be formal, but we wanted to understand from your point of view, like as a community, what are your strengths? And when you're thinking about your strengths, think of your assets too, like what do you consider assets? And then think about your strengths that way. So people, locations, sectors, industries, partnerships. Think of it from like an economic development point of lens.
I think affordability.
Yeah.
It's a strength that we have. It's more affordable to live in a rural community and build a family and
Used
build
to.
your life. And yeah, I mean, everywhere's expensive, but in comparison, you know, we do tend to be a little bit more affordable. And
Our connection to the ocean, I mean, our key industries are surrounding the ocean and partaking in extracting resources from the ocean and servicing those industries.
Definitely community.
Excuse
I
me.
think that's what I always try to sell when I sell right now.
Yeah.
Is community and housing is affordable. Like, trying to convince a friend to move home and I'm like, look at this house, it's 200,000, perfect.
We have a very welcoming community.
I think so.
Yeah, we
It
tend
is.
to have a very diverse, you know, makeup of our community members.
Awesome.
It's been fantastic. I know locally, whether we're fortunate or whatever, in the local area I'm in, they come from a ways, as it's called. And it's not really fair to call them that. But they've moved in and became part of the community. And look, we have a community hall. When it came COVID time, consider that it was going to be mothballed, period. And right now, we're hard pressed to get a date that you can go in and use it, because they've come in and participated, had so much more going on. And one thing I see a lot of people that came from away, the ones that join in the community feel at home.
Yeah.
The ones that don't or are not used to that are migrating back.
Yeah.
They're going back to that city life and they're not adjusting. But the rest are, it's a part of a family. So that is a big selling point. The only other things, I think, we have a harbor here that is second really to none or third to none, that is not even being scratched on to be used. It still, I think, is a big asset. We have a fishing industry that the indications are that our most profitable fishery is in decline, which has raised concerns. And I think we have all that expertise on the water and vessels and everything else. Somehow there has to be some opportunities that we can find to others, you know, extend the season or replace parts and pieces, whether it be service work on the ocean or whatever.
I think we have lots of room in our community for like all levels of newcomers, from like professionals like doctors, lawyers, dentists, all the way to tradespeople, just simply, I don't want to say simple laborers because they work really hard, but like landscapers, cutting grass, and you can get a home here for 200 to 300,000 compared to $1 million.
And we have a post-secondary education.
The NSCC.
Yeah, we have a Nova Scotia Community College, who is a Marine Center of Excellence, and often have micro-credential offerings for trade work. So I think that they also have room for expansion, which I think is an opportunity.
And I work for CBDC as well, so that's Community Business Development Center. And we're very approachable, and we see from small business to large business coming, and new business, like it's not just expansions or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we're seeing an influx, huge with us.
I think Penny would like to have something to say. Penny?
Oh, yes, thank you. No, I agree with everything that's been said. The only thing that I would add is perhaps about the strong social bonds that we have here in the community. And we have the most amazing volunteers as well. I honestly don't know what we would ever do without them. They're really the best in the community.
A pumpkin regatta.
We have
Yes.
we have a very vibrant tourist economy as well, which we see as an opportunity to continue to expand, and have been successful in establishing a events destination. designation, so self-proclaimed and now being recognized by the province, so, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so now a little bit about, the two parcels of land and, include any of your thoughts there. But what are some of the specific revitalization or development opportunities would you like to see there as a committee? Like, what are your thoughts? Could be a wish list, right?
So
All right.
I also was away. I lived in Ontario, right downtown Toronto for 15 years. And as a returning Shelburner with 2 children growing up here, I miss, I feel, and I've talked to this, is almost like more like a recreation.
Yeah.
Like, well, like we have gyms, but like an indoor pool or like resources. And I'm big in sports, but I have a kid now that's going in more into like the art feel. And like, I just feel like that would be one of, besides food.
Yeah.
The only thing I missed from having a larger community
Yeah.
is
Access to
dance
arts and
classes,
culture.
closer,
Rec.
rec.
Rec
I
facility.
think Barrington's working towards a goal on a new facility
Yeah.
to do with
Indoor.
indoor recreation.
Like an indoor track to run, an indoor pool, an indoor soccer elite thing, which I know they have in Bridgewater.
So that's part of the community development.
Yeah. And I think that would, people would stay.
I'd like to see a destination hotel, I always call it. We have kids that are into sports with it now, whether it be tournaments, and we're not hosting them because we have no accommodation.
Yeah, that's true.
They are not up to date. I'm not, I don't want to be degrading them, but they've dwindled over the years. And I just recently, again, come back from Ontario on a trip, and we stayed at one that was very basic. I think it was with Amsterdam Suites or something it was called. But I said, what if it, a hotel with up to 50 to 100 rooms that does have a pool, that people can come stay for the weekend. We can't sell the community to outsiders if we have no place to put them.
Right. And the business like that would support all these other things like Megan's talking about, because you could rent that. We have the new well field, but we can't have big tournaments because there's no place to put the people.
We
Curling.
hosted basketball,
Provincials.
provincials, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For Finns.
And people stayed in Liverpool.
Yeah.
all over.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're driving an hour away. the
And we
children-
could host a lot more.
Sports tourism.
And linked to that, Dale, we don't have any new modern convention center facilities in Southwest.
And, if it was like a destination one, that would accommodate all the above.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And I don't think we would just be drawing from here. I think we would draw out of Barrington.
Yeah.
Because
Barrington has
they
no accommodations.
No,
they have nothing to offer there.
Yeah.
So we're depending on Airbnbs. And so that has always been on the top of my list that we could interest a chain.
Yeah, sorry.
The only concern I think down the road, of course, we'd approve out is how much foot traffic and occupancy. But we recently had a conversation to somebody that has cabins in the area, and they're running 100% occupancy and already have booked 80% for the next year. So I think there's some capacity there.
I was stalking some of your tourism stats. That's where I like to live, and Manny gets a lot of data from her channels. I pay for tourism data and metrics and all that stuff in my other profession. And yeah, I was surprised to see the growth. It's averaging around 20,000 in 2022 and 23, I think I'd said. I was around 20,000 room nights sold. And then last year, or 2024, it was around 17 to 18,000. I didn't get enough time to look at your growth in Airbnbs, but I see that that's growing a bit too. Real estate, you may know a
I
bit more
have
about that.
Airbnbs and I can't even get, like mine are just being booked for the whole year now. I
Yeah.
can't even book
So-
them nightly anymore.
So I know in our region, sport tourism's, I love all of what you're saying, and I just wanted to say that, having the combination of a destination hotel or traditional accommodations in conjunction with other types of accommodations
Yeah.
like cabins and
Yeah.
beautiful Airbnbs and other things is the best form for a destination if you're moving into a tourism perspective. Because it allows different folks to experience different accommodations how they want, right? If you only have a accommodation hotel or you only have Airbnbs, it can be challenging. So having a great mix is.
To me, it would be the anchor for those tournaments, for those large scale events that demand that versus Airbnb.
One of the questions I have, sorry, for Manny is, what I'd like to find out from you guys as you go through this process is there an activity or development on that property that would be a magnet to other developers and other activities? So is there, let's just be stupid, if you had a McDonald's there, what else would want to come around that?
An anchor, sort of thing.
So what kind of anchor would work on that property?
Best to start with.
Create a cascade of.
Yeah, exactly, it's a good word, cascade.
Penny, you had a question?
Sorry, Penny.
Yeah, no, just to add to what others are saying, and just thinking back to the other question, another thing that we should be celebrating is that our community helps others when they are in need. I mean, we see it time and time again, and that's one of the wonderful reasons for living in this area. But just to get back to this question, when people come here, and I'm sure Megan can attest to this, the first three questions that we've heard anyways are, can I get a doctor? Can I get high-speed internet? And what recreational activities are there for my family? So, I mean, those are huge for anyone moving to the community, and I'm sure that's probably the same in many communities. Poor Warren knows my thoughts on a pool. I've been praying for one for probably 15 years now. and we have talked about, having the nice hotel that perhaps has the pool and to be able to be utilized by the community, such as at White Point. But for me, I'd love to see us have a destination that really celebrates the beauty of our community, and at the same time, includes all of those wonderful recreational activities, and also creates some really good paying jobs for the community.
I'm just going to jump in here for a second here. So Harts Point is not part of this RFP at all, but it has a part to play in it.
Yeah.
And that is that we are going to have an RFP next year that we're going to be putting in front of the committee to look at. But the whole idea is for consultants to come in and tell us what the art of the possible is for that property. Depending on what's happening on that property could actually dictate what comes on the 103 property. So I think the two are symbiotic. I think we should keep that in mind, at least the consultant should keep that in mind.
I agree, like
The resort aspect
would be definitely there.
Yeah.
And we all want retail. Yes, we want some retail that we don't have to drive an hour to 2 hours for.
I envision.
I think we could do a Costco, and everybody from Bridgewater, who wants to go to Halifax is too busy. Bridgewater's gonna come here to Costco because it's just too busy in Halifax.
I
But they're getting a
envision
third.
like big dreams of being able to market whatever economic development is on the 103. And I always use the example of like Kittery down in Maine, I think it is. As they actually market themselves to tourists because they have unique little high-end discount type shopping. So I always thought that was a really neat idea to tap in and service not only your local residents, but you're also able to use the business case of your tourist economy, because we do have that larger spending and going on during our high tourist seasons, which are extending. So we now have, our large Canada's best fall event in the fall now, and moving on to having some large holiday events in the winter as well. So
So going back to the Harts Point parcel, right? Do you folks have like a good idea of like what you want that to be so that this can be like in conjunction with it, kind of like some ideas or, you know, because if it's gonna be in tandem, right, like that initial like vision is maybe important for us.
It's definitely not something that we've done any community conversation around. I mean, you know, when you look at the property just individually, I'm sure everyone has kind of like a wish, you know, a dream in their mind what that could be. But when everyone's talking high-end resort, convention center, recreational opportunities, that's the parcel that my mind would go to. But, you know, I don't know if, I assume the community would probably be in line, but we have a lot of work to go to making sure the community's involved in that vision. But
I think it's important we don't fall down a certain idea and follow one idea at this early point. I think next year the whole idea is to get a whole menu of what can happen on that property. And then you can have a wholesome discussion as to which ones you really think fit.
Yeah.
And then recommend that to council and then council can make their decisions.
I had thought when we were looking at that parcel of land up in the 103, more industrial park. For instance, whether it be something like the Bridgewater cheap foods and small businesses, local, whether it be welding shops or fabrication or whatever. And I would think Harts Point leans more, if you want a view, and there's still lots of room there. The thing is to come up with that anchor. Because like Warren says,
It's Costco.
It's Costco.
yeah, it could be Costco.
Another
Walmart.
grocery store.
I mean, the anchor
Just
could
something
actually
that
be
you
on
can
Harts
Just
Point.
a grocery store.
Yeah,
And the ancillary sort of
Yeah.
businesses at the 103.
I don't personally think it would be a great fit on that property on the highway for a hotel, because I don't think you have a view, but
Not a world-class hotel.
No.
But maybe like a Best Western.
Oh,
a little more
temporary.
hotel, but yeah, I would agree. We do also have vacant property in our industrial park.
Yeah.
That's designated industrial development, so, you know, we have that opportunity as well for more of those more industrial type uses. And then commercial and recreation in the other areas.
well, and God forbid, I mean, we might as well recognize the fact that we're going ahead with wind energy. There's a great opportunity coming, irregardless of service in that industry. Fabrication, the harbor being one, they have to have access in and out for shipping, whether it's blades, parts, pieces, or whatever. Most of the other harbors are full capacity. We're learning Sheet Harbor, Halifax, and so on are actually want to push industries out of because they're so busy.
So, and there's two other assets that we've got here we haven't talked about, but one, obviously, the harbor was linked into the cruise ships. So we have had historically cruise ships, as many as 8 or 9 coming in a year. It's never been anything steady, and we don't actually have a dedicated facility to receive them. So that's one to keep in mind. The other one is the trail network. So the trail network is starting to develop, and it actually goes straight through Harts Point. And at some point, it's going to be connected all the way through to Yarmouth and all the rest of it. That's something where you could see year-round traffic coming through there. So it's possible that there's businesses associated with that as well. Sorry, I just right past your house.
But that's Harts Point, not 103.
Yeah,
So just to clarify.
No, these thoughts are important because, you know, at some point it all goes together. Right? So. Okay. Hate to talk about challenges, but do you think that there could be anything that gets in the way? Like infrastructure, workforce, regulation's a big one. Right?
Infrastructure right off the bat. 103, there's a challenge. Infrastructure would be expensive. So water and sewer would be very expensive to get up there. Initial development up there, I would say you might want to look at big enough parcels for on-site septic and well. You know, we'll do the studies to find out how much it will cost to get water and sewer up there. But whether or not we can find a developer that's willing to take on that cost is going to be a question mark right now. So it might be that the infrastructure we're looking at putting in there is roads, and that the lots themselves are well and septic initially. So that is a challenge.
Does have that road that does split the property now. It's old. When I say old, I mean old. But it has a little bit of a base there. It goes right up between the property now.
It's no longer a road because we have.
Well, it's,
Yeah, but it's a,
no,
Annapolis, right?
yeah.
and we own it, and it goes right into the town, so it's a challenge and an asset at the same
Yeah,
time, right?
both.
Oh, it's an artery to town, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a great asset. Challenge.
I didn't see that. Did it actually have a name at one point? It must have had a name.
Annapolis Road.
Annapolis Road, okay.
What is it? Pell's,
Post,
Pell's Road.
Another challenge is we don't have direct access onto the 103.
Oh,
You have to come off the exit 25 and then link into the property that way.
Yeah, there's multiple entrance points off the Jordan, Woodlawn Drive, just off exit 25 that you would have to exit.
Because it's a controlled highway, so you can't get access onto it.
so they'd have to come in and then swerve into.
It's just, what is it?
Just like exit 12.
Like
and-
200-300 meters off the exit would be an entrance point onto the property.
All right, we talked a little bit about the opportunities already. I think that gives us a good idea.
and I guess we should probably mention that Harts Point would face the same issues.
I think that the Harris Point property would be significantly more expensive to develop when it comes to sewer and water.
Yeah. More than likely,
Because,
of proximity.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and depending on the type of development you see there, like,
One last question that maybe we have is like, in terms of the economic priorities, right? Like what are your top 3 priorities, would you say? I know that from the notes already, like health and wellness and all of that is really important, right? Like building the community part, like that's important. If it's one, then that could be one. But what would you say like are some of your, economic development priorities so that this, that this analysis kind of touches on that it's not so far away from those priorities?
Penny, did you want to jump in?
Oh, I was still thinking on the last question there. I just wanted to say that when I was talking earlier, that my thought was Harts Point and not so much the property on the highway, but I definitely agree with the comments that that were given on that. And unfortunately, I have to go to another meeting, so I must leave to join another meeting, but very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this and looking forward to hearing about the discussion later. So thank you very much, and I'm gonna just take off here now.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Penny.
And I'm supposed to be at the same meeting.
I think we're almost, we have a little bit of an agenda to go through after they're done.
You still have a quorum if you need
Yeah.
to go. then.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we
they're
only
next
need, we
door.
only need one counselor for quorum, so.
I don't think there's anything else that, if that's all we're doing here.
you're dismissed.
So as far as priorities in economic development, I think one is considering the current economic landscape of the municipality and the town. And, we don't want to directly compete new development with existing development. We want to
Bring new.
Yeah, we want to bring new and emphasize what we have and grow on what we already have instead of directly competing with existing.
And in order to do that, I think you need to bring people from outside of the community to this property to do a big part in it.
Exactly.
Do you agree?
So
I was
there's-
thinking bringing Yarmouth money and
We need to
Barrington
bring
money
other
here.
people to shop there or to
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
because,
It would,
locally small businesses just barely make it as it is
Yeah.
with the local people, so.
it'd be nice if that anchor was for younger people.
Yeah.
that that we could draw in,
Yeah.
just, you know.
But as you see economic development, you're not only, you know, increasing the accessibility to commercial, commercial amenities to exist. You have an inward migration of people to work, people to build, people to, so you're gonna see your population grow with economic development and housing opportunities.
But I agree, like even just going to Bridgewater, and I live in Toronto, gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
And going into Halifax, it's like, oh my God. So I couldn't imagine being in Yarmouth and having to drive to Halifax for certain needs and shopping essential. So if we could bring them from Bridgewater to Yarmouth, even Digby would probably rather come this way than go to Halifax.
Yeah. So it is evident that we are strategically located at that kind of that hour hub, economic hub point around the province. You usually get every hour, you would have some type of economic hub. But between Bridgewater and Shelburne, or Bridgewater and Yarmouth, you don't. And Shelburne is that hour point.
People's gonna
So-
be our problem though. People are looking for employees.
Yeah.
And
We do have them, pays them to stay home. That would be my argument.
We have a lot of new Canadians coming that are filling a lot of that void, and that's good for growth too.
I might have lost her. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, workforce, I think that's, like part of the matrix that I showed earlier, like
Yeah.
that's something that we have to look at. Because, even if it's like a retail sector, they're gonna need to look at like the labor force.
Yeah.
And that's like a challenge all over the country, not just here, I don't think, so.
So Val, your comment there earlier about the landscape and non-competition, and not competition, but, thinking about,
Yeah,
not thinking that you're in a silo here.
right.
That would be more under the collaboration and outcomes more, like, like what would a successful outcome look like?
Yeah.
With your other municipal partners? With your other municipal partners, like what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think in the scope of data analysis, you're looking for gaps within the region. So,
Yeah.
Queens to Yarmouth, so where can we make an impact in the region? So that you are drawing the population and the money from other municipalities and other units along the shore.
Success for me would be getting a strong anchor in there that would be a magnet for other commercial enterprises.
you can't even buy a cell phone in town.
And so where do you guys go for that?
Bridgewater, Yarmouth.
Bridgewater, okay. Which is closer?
They're both an hour.
The same.
An hour.
Yeah.
But Bridgewater's gotten so much busier that I prefer Yarmouth now.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Yeah, Bridgewater's insane.
Yeah.
what do we need to have here to save you from going all the way to Halifax is what we need to figure out.
There we
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm here all the time, but the joke we always say in Yarmouth, because we do have hotels.
Yeah.
We've had that because of that investment or the influx of US travelers.
Yeah,
So we actually have more hotels and accommodations than most small towns
Yeah.
would have. But our struggle and our work is to make sure that those are full all year.
Yeah.
And working within a seasonal,
Yeah.
framework that the whole province works with. So you're doing the right thing when it comes to seasonality and trying to grow,
Yeah.
tourism and destination stuff in the fall. That's all amazing and great thing to do. But we always say that, when you're in Halifax, Yarmouth's 5 hours away. And if you're in Yarmouth, it's 3. Like, it's also the branding and all this other stuff that you're going to have to do to position these two pieces, or there's 2 pieces technically there, the highway piece and let's say Harts Point. It's all in that strategic storytelling, and that may seem like fluffy, but I've really started to drink that Kool-Aid because it's true. You need to start telling your story, owning something, and you're doing with the pumpkin regatta. You're being bold and you're pushing out and you're saying, this is our thing and we're the best at it, and doing the same thing with these facilities, because ultimately it's the story that you convince an investor.
Yeah.
An investor, you're telling them a story too.
Yeah.
And it's based in truth, but you're convincing them. And then others will follow that investor, like you mentioned, having an anchor, having all those other things. If you can get that right person to buy into the story and buy into the larger vision, then you can, hopefully you'll then have other folks that are going to be gonna latch on, and see that. And someone was mentioning the harbor and cruise and all those other things. I think tourism can be done sustainably. There's other places around the northeast US that are currently having issues with over-tourism because they didn't manage it, or they haven't been able to manage it, maybe they intended to, but they haven't been able to manage it strategically. And they're suffering for that now, and we're gaining from it, like we're meeting the province. Because cruise lines are looking for ports exactly like Shelburne's.
Yeah, and I think we have a couple of cruise ships scheduled for 2026 as well. So it's just getting them here, you know, it'd be nice to start having them stay longer than a few hours in the afternoon and yeah.
And like as a mom, and a perfect getaway for our family in the winter in January, February, March is True or the Rod, and grab a movie, Boston Pizza, and swim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
That hotel's a little great example of how they position that hotel for millennials, younger people, working families, those types of things, and to leverage sports tourism and all those other things. It's 100% designed to do that, you know,
And we
that
have
brand.
had communications with the Wassahoba First
Yeah.
Nations because they actually own the adjacent piece of property, the former Oxbow property. So we'd want to make sure our development is aligning with their development. If they're planning this type of development, we wouldn't want to be planning to do the exact same thing next to them.
Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
will make sure that we're aligned
Supportive
with
and
those.
building on it.
Yeah, perhaps like a engagement session with them.
Yeah, and we've had multiple conversations with them. They're open to chatting with us and keeping that line of communication open. I don't know that they have plans per se for that property, but they have a vision that they would likely share.
They mentioned a gas station, that type of thing initially. But I don't think they've honed in on a plan yet.
Yeah.
So.
It definitely would be a partner I would be looking to.
Oh, a coffee
Talk
shop
to
on this side of town to alleviate the mess that Tim Hortons has up there would be amazing.
Or another Tim Hortons.
Sometimes you can't get off the
Everyone goes-
highway because it's backed up so much you can't come across the highway.
I got
It's
one in my
dangerous.
mind.
Really?
Yeah, oh, it's horrible.
I was there the other day.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, you can't come off the highway. It's
That's-
dangerous.
So Andrew, can you recognize me? I just want to say one
And
thing.
coffee
Thank you.
Actually, you,
I've had worse.
vote, but can't I?
No.
no, you can't. No.
So Lori hold up their terms of reference, but now she can act as a committee now that the other two are gone.
Okay.
I just would like to just add this, we know with these big anchors, and it's absolutely critical that we have it, they're going to look at us right now with our low population, and how can we attract them as the anchor that we need? I just wonder about that. It's sort of the chicken and the egg thing.
Yarmouth, because it's on the highway, you're bringing in your people from Yarmouth and Barrington, and maybe even people from Liverpool coming down.
Sure, I just wanted
So
to add
the
that.
population is big.
yeah.
And don't forget Lockport. Lockport's little, but they're still drawing
Yeah.
people.
Well,
And
yeah.
our county population isn't much different than what Digby is, and look what Digby has.
Yes.
Digby has a Canadian Tire, a Walmart,
Two grocery stores.
Superstore, Sobeys,
So
you
there
know.
you go.
So, and all, so I
Did
think,
Digby Pines.
yeah, but it's because they
Yeah.
draw into their tourist
Yeah.
population as well, and they have the ferry
And they have
that
the
goes
ferry.
across there. So I mean, those things are important, but that's why in their data that they were presenting, growth populations those projections are super important to the work that they're gonna present and give us the business case to attract investment.
Yeah, and not just here, like in and around. right?
Yes.
It's like an anchor will
Yeah.
be serviced by like everyone that's passing through.
Yeah.
To some degree,
And
yeah.
I will continue to push, because from Toronto to here, if I was in Bridgewater, the way it's growing and crazy, I would somehow advertise to Bridgewater, like, why go to the city? It's so crazy, come this way.
Yeah.
And
Have you found that? Because I've had multiple conversations with, like just anecdotally meeting new folks coming in, they're like, yeah, we went to Nova Scotia from Ontario or wherever, or west. And then we started looking at properties in HRM, we were like, wow, we're not gonna make much on our money.
Yeah.
And then they're like, so we look a little further south, and then we're like, Lunenburg's too expensive, and then this isn't a dig at Shelburne at all, but I've had conversations where they said, and when we looked at Shelburne, and Shelburne's, the value was there, but the infrastructure and other pieces weren't there, like the recreation you talked about, maybe other educational opportunities. Yarmouth has French schools, for example, too. I don't know if that's an
Private
option,
education
but
is
just
huge.
other things. And then they said in Yarmouth, and then we're always fighting that same kind of branding story piece because a lot of folks that we just, we're 4% of the tourism receipts in the province. But then it was a kind of a Goldilocks situation where they were, well, this, I can afford the place, quality of life, safe, all these other things. So Shelburne has so much of that already, but it's like, how do we get past that one other little thing where it's like finding those other pieces of infrastructure that might work in these two pieces of property, that would be that lure that would then say, okay,
Yeah.
property's right,
The
community's
catalyst for
right,
growth.
how I feel when I'm here is right, and we have these other assets that now my
Yeah.
child can do X, Y, or Z that's important to me, right? And that's with doctor recruitment too, as we all know. is
Yeah.
They're all looking at the same thing, right?
In terms of partnerships, is there any folks that you guys are currently working with in provincially, like Invest Nova Scotia, ECOA, those partners, like they're,
For different projects, yes. COA on the recreation side, Invest Nova Scotia, we're always in communication with them about different opportunities coming up. More on the marine side, like in our industrial park down there.
They are aware of Harts Point.
Yeah.
so might want to talk with them a part of this engagement, just to understand like their viewpoint on what they see. Because I mean, we have like a regional development agency like REN, like there's not one in the South Shore. I think there's talks of one, but yeah, in lieu of that, I think Invest Nova Scotia would be the folks to go to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that this has been very, well, it's been definitely like a good intro conversation. I guess what we'd like to know from your point of view, like how would you like us to engage with you? Because there's a bit of, work where we can kind of do our desk work and come present it. Like how would you like to arrange like the progress? And when we kind of present to you, like.
I think it is in the scope of work to present to the Economic Growth
Okay, good.
Committee. But I think this committee will also be heavily involved in all your public, particularly public engagement sessions. And I think it'll be good for the committee to go through that process and almost use it as like a development of themselves and how we can engage more with them. How can we talk to the public more? How can we make sure we're approachable to our residents to be able to give us feedback and their own visions and aspirations for Shelburne.
Yeah, what Val just said is really important because we are under the spotlight right now for not being transparent. And by having this committee out there engaging with the residents is really important.
Okay. So I guess in a way, like we can work that out behind the scenes too, Val. It's not necessary here, but as just a forum, like just a protocol, like how often do you meet?
Monthly.
Monthly.
Yeah, second Tuesday of every month.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Because if the engagements were to go through in January and February, maybe we could work together to put together the list and the communications, probably like November and December together and present like a plan and go over the questions and so on.
Yep.
Before that.
Every second Tuesday, you say?
Yep.
At this time? Like what?
Yeah, 5 o'clock here. That may change a little bit when lobstering starts and we get a little bit more busy around the table, but ideally we stick to the second Tuesday of every month.
I have fishermen who have been on lots of my committees and you lose sight of them for a few months.
Yeah.
They're gone. Then they
I
come
don't know
back.
why.
Then they come back though.
They had something to do.
Really? That's good.
They're just steering
Get the
about.
nap on
You're
the
probably
seat.
there to get busy now, like just getting rope and traps and everything ready.
So Andrew, are you, what does Dale say, a slipper skipper? Are you one of them?
No, I'm not.
The skippers that wear slippers.
I still wear my boots.
But most of the fishermen
They
here
wear
are
gear.
also hunters, so this time of year, they're like.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, Yarmouth too, yeah.
Well, there's some of them are hunting in my backyard. I know.
My husband's currently in Carsboro, so hunting.
Yeah.
Jeez, Heidi had some nighttime hunters at her place last night.
Yeah.
Did you?
Just from the car. It's like, well, whatever.
Those are not hunters.
I don't know what those are, but anyways, as long as they're not hunting my dogs or whatever. then
Are you
okay.
done your presentation?
Yeah,
Is that-
yeah, good. Okay.
Glenn's
So
gonna
I think I think we got everything. So the next steps, what we're gonna do is just, Val and us are gonna work on the document review. So we're gonna like, review all of the public documents that are already available, just understanding like the economic priorities from the community's point of view. There's been some community consultations, as I understand, that has been done. So we want to understand that stuff before. And then hopefully like look at the zoning stuff too in November. But I'll work with Val to see when you folks would like to meet us next. And maybe we could talk about a bit about the engagement plan in detail next time. Because the communication of that would, like we would really rely on the community members, like the community members here to get the word out, to get the attendance, Yeah, I think it would take like a month of communication. So, yeah, the new year is a good time, I think. Yeah, so that's it from us. I don't know, Neil, if there's anything else that's impeding.
I'm excited about all this. I'm getting excited about it.
Oh, good.
Neil needs to decide what he would drive to Shaw before we tell us what it is.
I didn't answer your question, did I? No,
No.
I will think about that. Yeah.
I drive through here weekly for sure.
Going where?
Halifax.
Yeah.
Oh, just work and other engagements, like we have a project in Bloomberg actually, so.
Work.
I was here Saturday for the regatta and for Turkey.
Oh, that's
So-
wonderful.
That made me drive here.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on, see if we can get this finished up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mel.
Thank you.
Yeah, send the message.
Okay, business arising, so first with a meet and greet event, date format options, is that you,
Yes,
Val?
so it is actually Jill had
Jill?
some ideas around that. I'm almost thinking now if we're gonna do some public engagement with them, we might wanna do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jill had a few ideas, some for November, some for January, so we can go ahead and discuss.
Yeah, we looked at a couple dates, so, November 27th was one, but that's our hard one. It's the start of lobster season, so that's probably not gonna work. December 9th is our December meeting, for this committee. So we thought, do we do something that evening? We could kind of do, I had a couple ideas, like just, like cocoa and chats or like, kind of like, or, festive growth or, we had some little things, ideas that we could maybe spin off on that. Or we could do something come the new year, like if that's too busy for everyone, we could do something and we could say something like, new year, new growth and like kind of theme it like that. And then we were just looking for ideas on what the committee felt for time-wise and as far as like what we are kind of thinking. But like Val said, if we are going to be doing some engagement with this group, then that might be something we
We could do like
look
almost
at.
like a meet and greet with the committee first. And then like add or offer some refreshments and get people out and then lead into the real more nitty gritty public consultation with like actually what do you want to see on this, on this property?
Yeah.
We're more apt to get people out in one shot than we are.
Yep, then getting them out twice, yeah, especially like it's in this season, like, everyone's busy, so we get it.
I wasn't aware that they were gonna
Yeah.
pitch the January for a date, so I think it fits well.
Yeah, new year, new growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Sounds
that
great.
too.
Yeah, idea.
Yeah.
When does things slow down for you on the water?
I mean, it slows down after Christmas, I guess.
The weather will
Yeah,
So January was work for you?
Yeah.
January 13th is the
I'll certainly make
committee
it work,
date.
like a good day of work in January. for sure.
Yeah, and instead of our meeting, if there's no major business, instead of our meeting, we can just do that in the public consultation, that'd be the body of our meeting.
I'm away the first 2 weeks of January,
You're away, sir?
away. Until January 14th for 2 weeks.
You're away till 14th, okay.
So do it after, because I want to.
Yeah, so we can push it, so we all think we want to do it in alignment with what the consultants are doing, I think that works well, gets more
Just-
people out.
Yeah, so it's just like, my understanding is that these people have been hired.
Yeah.
Haven't they been hired to tell us what is going to work well there?
That's exactly what
Yeah.
they're doing, but they want to get a lay of the land by asking us questions.
Right, I understand.
And asking residents questions, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Because they want to see what people want, but then they'll compare that to what the gap analysis is telling them, and then seeing where the commonality might be there.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so their data will be their data, the market gap will be the market
Like,
gap.
I have no idea what that will be, what that.
Yeah.
It's
It's
gonna,
thinking, and I don't have any idea. Okay.
no one's done a market gap analysis for Sheldon yet.
Yeah,
That's great.
I mean, it's gonna identify, obviously grocery is gonna
I think
be number
that's-
one.
And I think accommodations.
Daycare, is short-term accommodations will be another one.
Even like just general services like nails, like
Yeah.
not to be like that girl, but we pay for that stuff and it takes me 3 weeks to get it to my girl.
There's lots of girls that do that too.
I know, but they're all.
Lots of guys.
No, lots of girls that pay to get that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah.
After lobster season, we'll look after.
Get my
The
nails done.
strategic plan, we had kids draw pictures of what they wanted.
They're the best.
And it's interesting, most of them had some kind of retail aspect as to what they wanted.
Yeah.
But then you had stuff like trampoline park and stuff like that.
Yeah. But those things come with growth, like
They
those,
yeah.
those recreational amenities and services and stuff, those come when you start to grow as a population and you need more of those things. Like another one doctors are always asking for, private school,
Yeah.
private education, and we don't have it, we can't offer it.
Even
So,
daycares,
yeah.
like they're full.
But
there's
with
no
with
room
more population,
Yeah.
you get these more business opportunities popping up, so.
All right, Jill, are you good on the meet and greet discussion and dates?
So we'll
and-
plan
Yep.
with Manny around there and.
After the 14th.
and do a
Yeah,
better
that
slash
sounds
on
good.
it. Yeah, after
Yeah,
the
I
14th.
made a little note here, Megan, so.
And then too, I don't know if you guys said it, like, not everybody's comfortable speaking out loud, so even like a Dropbox for ideas.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can have some maps on the wall, like a depiction of the properties
Yeah.
that we have, right down to our industrial park.
It's a
Sorry.
race string.
Economic development
You're not
committee is
moving
sponsored by
Warren.
Pepsi.
Well, I'm not in the camera, thank God.
Oh, no, it is right on me.
Public information session, housing, a recap on that?
Yes, so I did on September 25th, September 25th, we did
Missed
a
it.
public information session for housing programs. We announced the municipality's own grant opportunity for affordable housing. We had the province in talking about a variety of their programs that incentivize housing developments. We had about 15 to 18 people, not including the presenters and stuff in the room. We gave, information about our surplus lands that the committee had worked on previously. Talked a lot about our housing needs and some of our growth projections and stuff like that. Since that meeting, I thought it went really well, lots of great questions. Since that meeting, I have 2 scheduled for next week, and we've already got 1 submission or application for a grant or affordable housing grant. And I have a meeting on Thursday with another housing developer. So, the word's getting out that we're investing or incentivizing housing, and, the prospects are good, so. Yeah, so I'll involve Jill in those meetings, of course, around the zoning and planning, to make sure things fit where people want to put them, so, yeah. So I just wanted to give the committee a recap on that. I thought it went really well. Lots of people came out.
All right, website, what's this next?
Yeah, so during the last meeting, we talked about some more website information, more along the lines of committee member bios and contact information. So I now have your contact emails on there. And I'm just waiting for Megan for her picture for
Oh, God.
Get it for
bio.
her.
There you go. So I have the bios ready to go, and I just used your application information for when you submitted your application to be
Sorry.
considered for that's okay. I didn't want to take one off Facebook because, I don't know what you want. So if you want to send that to me, I can work on getting those on the website ASAP.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's it. So now your contact information is out there, and encourage for people to give you their
Reach out.
thoughts and feedback and constructive thoughts on economic development. And yeah.
Okay. Committee vacancy. So I guess it's under new business.
So we had 5 applications for the vacancy. It closed on Thursday last week. The chair and the CIO have reviewed those applications and I think have recommendation, which will then, it has to go to council for official appointment. So I'll get it on the agenda for the next meeting. But if you want to.
Should we do it now or, okay, I thought it was under new business?
No, it's,
Doesn't matter?
well, no, we'll talk about it here. I had it up
Okay.
here. Yeah.
So I did have a discussion with Warren about this and decisions made to pass along Drew Jacqueline's application to municipal council for approval as a community member of the board.
Yeah,
So,
great.
yeah, Drew's a municipal business owner. He's a young guy, he's trying his best to make his business work. Seemed like he was a good fit for the board.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to push it up the chain to the council and see if they'll
Yeah.
approve it as well.
And I love what he's doing with the pickleball stuff. Him and James are
Yeah.
just killing it.
Active
And
community member.
sports, like, and this will, I just have to say this, sorry, but I think they have like 50 players coming and not one of them's local. So that's amazing for, again, hotel sports. Like, we think of only kids, but like,
Yeah.
that's great. Exciting. Yay.
Yeah, so he had a great submission for application. It was exciting that we had 5, and we had 7
And
the
he's
first
younger.
time and 5 this time.
Let's
so-
do that there. Let's do
Yeah,
younger.
he's younger. Yeah,
He's
he's younger than
ambitious,
all of
right?
us. He's that age.
Yeah, he's young. Sure.
He's not my age.
We're all 25.
So, but,
In our
business
minds.
owners have moved away, come home.
Yes,
um,
not the
Yeah.
body.
Definitely expressed his passion for seeing this community grow and thrive. So, very exciting, so.
We need a motion.
We don't need a motion of this committee, just because if there's no committee members to make the motion, we don't pass it through the committee. So it just goes straight to council, but just so everyone's aware that those applications were reviewed and that
So you'll
is the
get that on the next
recommendation.
agenda?
It'll be on the next agenda, so.
Yeah, I'll have to get a staff report pulled together.
Yeah, so he'll be notified he'll be notified that he'll be offered the position and then it'll be officially appointed at the next council meeting, which is
Next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
22nd.
So, yeah, yep. And then we'll get his bio on the website as well and
Get his
then
photo.
he'll jump in with both feet.
Get my
So,
calendar for tomorrow.
yeah, he also was
They
a
must
good, but,
I wanted to use one of my real estate ones, so I gotta grab it and send it to her. I'll get it to her.
okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm confident you'll get it to me.
All right, good on that?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, community terms of reference, so looks like it's been revised,
Yeah.
motion prepared.
Yep, there'll be a motion for this item. So I've just made the changes that we discussed at the last meeting. So they're highlighted in red. So this does illustrate the position of the alternate. So alternate members present at regular meetings. When all elected members are present, will be considered a member of the public for purposes of the meeting and not able to participate in discussion or vote. So as you did notice, Councillor Irvine was not participating until the other 2 appointed members left, and then now she's acting in an official capacity once they're not there. So then she was able to engage in the discussion.
Did
So-
both of them need to leave?
No, only one of them needed to leave, but they happened to both leave at the same time. So it's now clearly stated in here that when all elected officials are here, the alternate will be treated. So just you as chair will have to make sure that if someone's excited and wants to speak, we won't be allowed to
And I think that
allow it.
with it being recorded, that we should state that Councillor Richardson has left the meeting
Has left the meeting.
and Councillor Irvine has stepped into that role.
Yeah.
Effective at such and such a time.
So
Okay.
for
Just so it is
future-
documented.
Formalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
formalized, yeah. So that just clearly illustrates that for so everyone understands that it's not a full
Yeah.
council
That's right.
appointment and
Yeah.
it is, the balance is still being maintained there.
Right.
So I've added in virtual attendance. Excuse me. So all committee members will be permitted to join the meeting virtually, but they have to be able to confirm that they can, because these are live streamed and or recorded, they have to be able to be heard and seen by the rest of the members, and we have to provide that same technology. So as long as we can accommodate that, then you can join virtually at any time. There's no limit to the amount that you can join virtually on, so.
So just a question, enable the public to see and hear each member participating. So where will the public view that?
So this is
So
being
the-
recorded, so as you can
Right.
see here on the screen, so when the warden was on there, the public, so when this is being recorded and put out to the public, or if at any time we start live streaming, the public could see and hear her.
Or if they were here.
Or if they're here, they can see
They
and
can
hear.
see if.
Yeah, so because
And the
it's a
other
public meeting, the public has to be able to hear and see what's going on at the meeting.
But at this point, they can't, like, we'll say log in and watch the meeting in progress.
Yep, they can.
Okay, they can.
We offer virtual links, so I'll get,
Yeah,
that's,
so
that's.
it'd be good to know where that
Yeah.
link is, because if people ask about the committee, you say,
Yeah.
listen, hey, if you want to see what's going on, how about you
Yeah,
hop on the link
So-
and watch the meeting or?
so we, yeah, okay. So as long as each member can do that, we allow public or virtual attendance. So the next change is just that the municipality will make every effort to accommodate virtual attendance of the public when technology is available. So right now, it's just on our website and on our social posts that they just email me for that virtual link. It's very difficult to post a virtual link publicly because you get a lot of bots and stuff trying to join your
Right, I
meetings and
understand
stuff. So I am trying to establish a YouTube channel where we can just live stream and they won't need a link at all. They can just go to the channel and see the live stream. I just haven't had a chance to set that up.
Okay.
Been a little busy with Pumpkin Regatta, but that's now passed, so we have some breathing room. So we will work towards doing that.
Yeah, that's a great way to
Yep.
build on the transparency.
So, so it does say,
Accessibility.
in addition to recorded meeting minutes, the municipality will make every effort to live stream or capture video and audio recordings. That will subsequently be made available publicly on our municipal website. So I'm working there, it's just, but I wanted to capture it all in our terms of reference, I didn't have to come back once that's done. So that is the overall goal. So I do need a motion to accept the revised terms of reference, which will then ultimately go to the next council meeting for adoption.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm very minded. Motion carries.
The chair is a pro now.
All right, moving on, number 7, properties.
Yep.
LiDAR mapping.
Yes, so the Hertz Point and 101 properties, so I'll talk about these next 2 items. So with our procurement policy, it looks like I should only need to get 3 quotes for LiDAR mapping. It's not going to be an extravagant expense and it's already in our budget, so I can just get, so I've reached out to some surveying and mapping companies. I'm working on getting those 3 quotes for that, so that will, once I've established that scope of work and quotes, so come back to the committee, and again, we do have that in our municipal budget. The archaeological assessment is something that is licensed through the province, so we need to get a license to do that assessment, so I'm working on doing that as well. So I just wanted to update everyone on what we're kind of doing on, and that will be for both Hearts Points and the 101 properties.
103.
103, the 103
I
properties.
just want to jump in there. So
Yeah.
like the LiDAR and archaeological, like, it'll be a staff that selects the company and scores the company and all the rest
Yeah.
of it. We'll just be bringing the results back to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we only need to get 3 quotes, so we did it.
Is
If
the,
we're only getting 3 quotes, then you have to pick the
Yeah.
cheapest.
is the archaeological assessment something you had planned on, or is
Yeah.
that something that arose from the last meeting that we had?
No, it's been mentioned quite a few times historically.
I feel like that's probably a costly part of the job here.
Honestly, don't know what that's going to turn out
I
at.
don't think it's as costly as you think. It is regulated
no
by
idea.
the province, but I'll have that information for you
Yeah.
shortly. But you do have to pay an archaeological.
Logical.
Yes, archaeological, whatever they, I don't know.
Archaeologist.
Archaeologist, there you go, I
There
had
you
an
go.
extra syllable in there. So you do, I mean, which is a professional service, so it's likely going to. But again, the LiDAR mapping won't be an extravagant purchase either, so I think we had about 50,000 in the budget for those items.
For both of them together?
Yeah, so we should be well under that.
All right, municipal surplus lands update?
So I just wanted to, so now that the properties have been declared surplus, they are publicly able to view them on our website. They're not technically for sale or listed for sale. We are working to get a standing offer for real estate agents, so that RFP is out right now. There may be some survey stuff there that exists with getting right descriptions and stuff on properties before you can change those titles. So legal's working on that. But in the interest of transparency, because they have been declared surplus, they are now on our website. So if anybody is asking questions about them, they're there. If people want to see them and view them and ask questions, they can certainly reach out to myself, the warden, any of you, CAO on what that will look like as far as purchasing or future tenders or future real estate opportunity. So
Okay.
they are there. They're publicly there for people to see what's available. So,
Okay, great.
okay. And that's it.
Do we have anything in our new business? I don't think we got the.
Does anybody have anything to bring up?
I would think at our next meeting, we'll fill the vice chair role.
Yes. Well,
Once we have a full,
the thought was to wait for the new
Another
committee
public,
member.
yeah.
Not saying that that person needs to be the vice chair, but we'll leave it to that.
All right.
We're good?
We're all good?
Are you all good?
I'm good.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
We have our next meeting, the second, it'll be the second.
It's November 11th, actually, so we have to decide on that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because
Yeah,
it's,
a holiday. I think we did talk about it at the last meeting that we'd move it to the day after, not the day before.
Is
as
that
well.
council?
I got it wrote in
And I
my
think
stuff
it's
on the
council.
13th.
Oh, so we already did
Yeah.
decide that at the
Okay.
last meeting, so it's the
Perfect.
13th. Yeah. So next meeting date is the 13th. I'll just change that on the website tomorrow. That way it's
there.
it's there for, and then I think it's 3 days before the meeting. We have to make sure we have the agenda publicly available, so. Yeah, is everyone happy with the communication?
Yep.
You weren't available, we don't have a vice chair to establish the agenda this time around, so I just went ahead and
No,
did
that's
it
fine.
based on what needed to be done and the kickoff meeting taking up the bulk of our, so generally you would be.
Yeah, no, that's great. I wasn't here today.
Yep.
You were in Newfoundland, huh?
I was.
Yep.
Get one?
Meeting adjourned.
Yep, meeting
I was
adjourned.
guiding, yeah.